Hi, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts. You're catching me on True Divine 44 on YouTube, hopefully Bitchute, and it starts letting me upload again. And I'm trying to add more in the description box, so check that out. You can book a reading with me, tarot reading, and any spiritual coaching, any energy work at truedivinemedia@gmail.com. And thank you for all of the new people that are doing that. You help me sustain my family by doing so. I help you and you help me. That is very much appreciated. So this is the free content that I put out on a daily basis, where I combine the energy work that I do. I consider myself, I don't like labels, but if for want of a better word, energy bender. I feel like I manipulate energies, and I've shown that to people over the years, and I can feel energies, and I bring that together with the ancient art of tarot to combine a storyline, a narrative that you can use in your day to recognize the energies within you, around you, and within others. Take what resonates as it is general, and leave what does not. Please leave a comment as to how you are processing the energies or the messages or whatever. Just open up that dialogue, get to know people there. I've got some awesome dudes and dudettes there, and I love them all. So, and appreciate them all. So let's go. We've got, this is for the 11th of March 2021. Something about the 23rd of March that keeps coming up in my mind, a date that they're planning things on. So keep that in mind. I'll reply to the comments on the videos that I've been doing. I'd love replying. I love having dialogue with you guys there. So sorry I haven't been doing that over the last few days. Had a lot on, and I've got a broken phone, so it's I can't get the screen open so often on the go with the kids and with readings and other work booked in. I often on the go will reply throughout the day to the messages that you leave on the phone, and obviously I haven't had the means to do that, so I'm a bit behind, but I will catch up. So for the 11th of March 2021, so we've got the Six of Swords on the bottom of the deck again. This is speaking to the game that is being played. What game are you playing? Are you even contemplating this place as a game? If you're not, maybe you should consider doing so. It's a game against and with yourself. It's a game against and with whatever people or systems of feeling or believing you have. It is a game, and the balance and the wisdom is to not take the game so seriously that you can't play with anybody else, i.e. you start losing the board game and you're the one that flips the board game way up in the sky and goes storming off. When you're not winning, it's important to have the wisdom to know, to have the grit to be able to maintain your game, being able to maintain your energies within the game, even when there are certain moves that you feel are made against you. It's the wisdom to know that to take the game seriously, yes, but at the same time not. To know that if you take it too seriously, you're going to be the board flipper. Nobody wants to be the board flipper. So you need to have this balancing act. And it's also to not be so restricted in your moves, in your game, what your style of game is, that you can't see the game that is being played on the opposite sides, so to speak. There are many here that are playing a very enlightened spiritual game, and are retaining great knowledge in that. But at the same time, many of those within that category are very closed off to the evil game that others are playing. And so evil persists, and they're the ones that don't mind being the cheaters, keeping certain cards under their bottom so they can slip them out at the right time. We all know them. We grew up with some of them as we were playing games growing up. And so it's to be aware of all of the other types of gaming that is going on, and to have the knowledge of it, to not be pulled into it, but also to not be a part of it, but to be in observation of it, and also to be ready to take action against it. If somebody's coming for your for your street on Monopoly, you need to stop them. You know, you need to blockade them. You need to see their game. And so it's important that we are open to realizing that there is a lot of extremities here in this realm. Hey baby, fluffy hair with chocolate on your face. You got a runny nose? Oh dear. Do you want to sit up here? Come on then. So it's important to be able, raggy hair. So it's important to be able to, what was I saying? Be in observation of the game and also be in observation of the extremities that is here. We need to accept. If we are going to change things for the better, then we need to accept the darkness that is within ourselves so we can see the light within ourselves. We need to accept the darkness that is within other sets of humans and beings here, so that we can see that too and take action against that too. Or are we going to be the ones that sit in the corner and don't even participate in the game? Well, you might feel like you are doing that sometimes, but at the same time, you can't help it because the game is being played, and because there are players that have taken so many streets on Monopoly and put so many hotels on there. Even if you don't want to be part of the game, you want to live in this realm, you're part of the game, you're affected by their moves. So far better be a part of the game by making moves against that would be not just evil to you, but evil to others, to innocents. And so it is a big it is a big part of the reading, and has been for a while, this game that is being played, and the importance of seeing it. So we've got on the bottom of the other deck the strength card again. So this speaks of finding your own source energy, your energy from.
It's gonna be like the two one way, like.
Yes, that's right, baby. So do you want to hold that one up? So we've got this, we've got this energy of needing to recognize our own source energy in order for us to be able to be on point with our game, to be able to have the strength to go forward within all of this, because it feels like, and I've seen it, it's going to get a lot more challenging, and the more we stop or not participating in the game, the more that we are not strong in the game, the more difficulties we're going to face, the more difficulties we're going to be able to, we're going to see and eventually have to face. And so this is about the Kundalini energy, taking in all aspects of self, from the below to the above, from the above to the below. And recognizing the strength within that Kundalini energy, very important that you have the wisdom to know that you have the strength to move these huge power sources up the spine before you do. And so they are showing strength in their game. Let's face it, they've done well in their game, and we've been too complacent and forgotten this great source of energy that we have within us. To be able to, Lex's curls raggy, to be able to use this energy and the strength to go forward. So it's important that we look into that and prime ourselves like we prime our body for exercise. Prime your energetic body, your chakra points, your energy points, in order to be able to have them be good capacitators for this energy as it moves up and through you. And you see here, on a lot, and I'm doing some artwork at the minute to try and depict the chakras in some of the ways that I see them, and a lot of the artwork, for want of simplistic value, I feel is the chakra points, all straight down the line. Now I see it more like the Kundalini energy. When I'm moving energy up somebody, or helping somebody move their energy up, it is this ping pong zigzag. It's like electrical pulses going from one to the other to the other to the other. Sometimes I can feel it or see it as more of a lava lamp bubbling. It'll bubble so much that it moves to the side, and bubble so much it moves to the side, but it's a lot, usually more electrical and zigzaggy. And because they're both coming from different directions and twining, making the infinity sign many times, that you're doing the ping pong at either side. So catching all aspects and all parts of the energetic body. So we've got the first card as the Three of Swords in reverse. So this is speaking of breakups in relationships. It's speaking of, unfortunately, maybe some of you having or knowing others that are going through the passing of a loved one. It speaks of pain. It speaks of you've fought and fought and tried with something, and it just isn't happening. The blocks keep coming up, the arguments keep coming up, the old wounds keep getting thrown in your face for a lot of you. And this is a lot of energy that, you know, you think, why is this happening? Well, because some decisions maybe should have been made within these aspects of your life to let go of a certain thing that you keep trying to fight for, keep trying to make work. And it's coming to a head because it's getting too much. There's too many blocks to that energy. It feels like a lot of you feeling the frustration and pain of knowing that you're starting to let go of someone or someone's because of the energies that have been happening. You try and argue your point, you try and prove that you're right, but you get into the point of realizing that no matter how much evidence you put down, either in your own personal favor or as part of trying to spread knowledge about what's going on from these so-called powers that be, no matter how much evidence and receipts you put down, that you will not win this argument. This argument is not to be won in this certain aspect, in this certain direction. The energy of it isn't happening. It's just not happening. And so you come into this realization and what that means for the relationship as is, whatever that relationship might be for you. Collectively, I think a lot of people are starting to realize that in the spiritual community in particular, that, you know, not all people can be or will be saved. This old story that we've been fed for so long of, you know, everybody, you know, even if it's just on the deathbed and even if it's just throughout the weeks, can repent of whatever sins, and as long as they repent, it's okay that they did something, that they could be forgiven on the other side and everybody can be saved. It's not going to be like that, and I think that collectively we're coming to that knowledge and that acceptance. But it's difficult. It's a difficult part of wisdom when you realize that, yeah, you can, it's brilliant when you can have accessibility to knowledge, and it's brilliant when you can have the avenue and be the conduit to spreading that knowledge of freedom, sovereignty, divinity. But actually the balancing point of that is the frustration you feel when that isn't accepted or absorbed in the direction that you're putting it in. And the wisdom is to let go of that, it's not your job, it's not your role. You can't direct somebody else's path. You can't save somebody else per se. You can be there to help and guide and support, but you can't save somebody else. You can't. And there comes a point with the wisdom where you've got to take your energy elsewhere. This is an energy void. You can keep filling up this void with as much energy, as much knowledge as you like, and all you're going to do in this direction is pull your frequency down to meet the frequency that you're trying to win the argument with, you're trying to battle with, in whatever way that means for you. The Five of Swords clarifies the Three of Swords. So this is speaking about, you know, there's no winning here. You can keep battling on, but there's no winning here. Your hands are tied. You've got your wisdom, your words, your swords. You know, you look at the word swords, and it's SWORDS. Take the S out, and it is words. You know, it's your knowledge, it's your intellect, it's your words, it's your air. And so that your air is being wasted. What happens from an elemental point of view? If you're looking at the elements of us, oxygen, air, what happens if we deprive ourselves of oxygen and air for a very short amount of time? We wouldn't be here anymore. So if we were to look energetically at that energetically, what's we taught? 1 second, I'll pause this. 1 second. Sorry. So if we were to do that with, if we were to look at that energetically, we need to put as much importance on our air, on our thoughts and our words, our intellect, our wisdom, our knowledge, as we need to put as much importance as that elementally as to where we put that. Because if we continue to put it into a endless argument, a void, an abyss, that is just going to use your oxygen to breathe, and then actually use your knowledge, your wisdom, your oxygen to probably damage your argument, i.e. using your words against you, turning them around, making you sound crazy to others, you know, creating the pain more. You know, you need to see that this is element wastage. It's element, and you wouldn't waste your breath if you were, you know, taking breaths and it was your last breaths. You wouldn't waste them in this kind of void. And so there's wisdom to be had here, and to let go of this pain, to feel it also, to not be afraid of being in that pain, to transmute that energy, in order for it not to create a ism within you, you know, like a fear of you spreading that knowledge further elsewhere where it will be used for good things, a fear of speaking out. And this is happening on the collective stage, the deliberately labeling people, which is why I don't love labels at all, because they're so weaponized, and they're so powerful. If they can give a name to you, which is why a lot of powerful beings, you know, they've got their names changed with different societies, same being, different names, because if you can give the absolute name, you can have great power over that being. And so if they can label you as, you know, a supporter of T, a supporter of B, a supporter of what do you call them, our B, you know, Boris, you know, a supporter of Christianity, a supporter of this, they can then turn that around. They can say, they can make something happen like the 6th, and now they've got a name to label you and discredit you amongst the many, because they put up this act, they put up this play, and they attach it to a name, a side that you have vehemently been on. And so this is where the wisdom is also to let go of those fears, because it's with these fears that they're now getting people to be quiet and shut up. And the system bolsters that. When you see this authority figure in the background taking names, the system bolsters that, because if people slip up, like many on YouTube, it's affecting their income, it's affecting their source of sustainability. So it's very powerful, and it's important that we look at the deeper aspects of why we don't waste our pearls, why we don't waste our oxygen, our wisdom, our intellect, our air element in an endless void, because it can be weaponized and not just attack you, but then attack a collective movement, a collective ascension. It makes it more difficult. We've got the 3 of Wands in reverse. Now, before anybody says, I checked the deck, and many are in the upright, so they want to be in reverse. So the 3 of Wands in reverse. And the 3 of Wands in the upright, it's about being very passionate about taking action, having the wands set with the commitment to the plan. The 3 of Wands we see on the collective stage today, many people starting to process a lot of things that they've been fooled on, which creates pain, going back to this 3 of Swords and this 5 of Swords. But instead of many of them accepting it, that 17th letter thing in particular, and being able to recognize that the game was good, the game was very strong, instead of them being able to recognize that, then we've got this energy that's being put out there collectively in many different directions, not just that 17th, but many different directions of this letdown, of this, so that the ones are dampened, they're upside down. What do wands do upside down? When I'm fire dancing, if I was to hold it upside down for too long, it starts burning up. It would start burning my hands. If you were to do that with a candle, it melts that candle away real quick. There's not much passion there, there's not much drive there, there's not much power there for very long at all. So to stay in this energy, or to be absorbent of this energy from the collective energies, is really damaging to being on your game right now, to being in the game right now. To be observant of it, and to not be absorbing of it is really important, because we've got this dampening of the energies in the collective today, of the passion, of the drive. And where is the plan now? What's the plan? How do we even trust any plans? All of these questions coming up collectively, that as empaths, as intuitives, you know, you don't want to be absorbing that. Be observant of it, be knowing of it, but don't be absorbent of it. So that causes a lot of pain in the collective today. As far as the collective stage, also, it feels like a certain decision might make a little bit of a mess up of the so-called powers that be plan, and so that is a good thing. We'll wait to see what that is, what direction that is, because there's so much going on. I can't fit everything in one video even. Individually, it's the Lovers cards to clarify this Three of Wands. So it's a 6, the 3 and the 6. And this speaks of major decisions. It speaks of making decisions from a balanced place, in the middle, from the middle, having your divine feminine, your divine masculine on the scales in your inner self, in a balanced place. So you know your intuitive divine feminine is in knowing, in foresight, in intuition, and you've got this divine masculine ready to take action. And the reason that these ones are in the reverse, going back to the individual journey of breakups and things like that, we've got this going back in the past, realizing that you should have made some major decisions way back when, whenever that way back when is for you, and you procrastinated out of fears. These decisions weren't made, and it ultimately has put you. Okay, baby, go and get it from the side of Mummy's bed. And then if you also, we've got this energy of a lot of people realizing that they did make some decisions, but it wasn't from a divine balanced place, and it has put plans, it has put blocks on plans, it has slowed things down, it has made things go in the wrong direction. So it's to go back to that point in your mind's eye and realize what decision it was that you needed to make. For a lot of people, it is within relationships, it is within the lover's energy. For a lot of people, it is within business also, that there were certain decisions made. Now, not necessarily that those business decisions were wrong on many counts, but the fact that you hadn't made other decisions surrounding the rest of your life, you know, especially relationships, it's put a block, it's put a dampener, it's put a slowdown on your plans. As far as collectively, we are recognizing now what I've been saying from the start. People need to open up. They're recognizing that their governments are not there to protect them and are not going to do anything to protect them. So a lot of people having to reflect back as to why they didn't make those decisions, why they didn't go ahead with their own plans. I'll just stick some vapor rub on this baby. Here we go. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. It always tickles you. One more. Tickle, tickle, tickle. Tickle, tickle, tickle. There you go. There you go, little lamb. You're welcome. Sorry. Got a little vapor up. So we've got that, reflecting back on where decisions needed to be made, should have been made, and also learning from your lessons. There are certain decisions within your life that need to be made today, need to be made with conviction, and be precise about why you're making these decisions. Get these ones turned around in the upright, for your own survival, for your own abundance, for your own happiness, and for your own game, to have your experiences within your game. So again, like I said, all of the cards came out reversed. So the Justice card is in reverse for the next card. So you can see here, it speaks very much of the Lover's card, the balance of, where is your heart? Where is your fire? Where is your air? Where is your lightness? Where is your feather? Where are you in the middle? Where's your balance point? It's in reverse, and it speaks to the recognition that justice is relative, and just as in reverse from the collective stage, there is a lot of enlightenment by the lack of justice, by the lack of calling for justice, of putting justice out there. The enlightenment with the sun is showing that, their game is that the systems are built for the processes of their games, and the very systems that we are held and constricted by, the law and order, the chaos that they cause and then the order that they bring in, are all within these systems, cleverly written in Latin. So it's hard for the layperson to understand, and it bolsters their game, it bolsters their moves, it gives them a certain security that many of us in the collective do not have. And this is unacceptable, and we need to recognize this and start to go back to common law and to more natural law, better even than that, the natural law, and taking these suckers out. It's not working. It works for them. It does not work for us. And the enlightenment on these systems that have been built up for many, many, many years since this hijack of this realm is being shown for all to see. I mentioned that Kumo, I don't know how you pronounce it. It's like that Ghislaine thing, they pronounce it differently. There's no real justice. There's distraction going on, and the distraction is, sex, because everybody knows that in the propaganda world, in the headline world, in that magical world, sex sells. And I really feel they're going to be pushing this person that I felt coming forward, that the story, unlike the other people he affected badly, you can pick this person's story apart, deliberately so, very much so, and that's a deliberate act to distract and discredit and shove it along, move it along. It speaks of in your own life, what justice do you want? Are you gonna take responsibility for the decisions that you have made, for the lack of decisions that you've made, for the pain that you decide to hold on to, the places you decide to put your air, your fire, to put those elements that are so precious. Are you going to make your own justice? Because in making your own justice with this benevolent sun energy, giving you the full spectrum of light, which can be the full spectrum of healing, we can turn this justice for ourselves in the upright. We can be able to flip this around and take this justice for ourselves. What else do I need to say about this? Where are we coming from? If we want to be submissive and we want to be able to see and eat this knowledge up, but then just allow things to go as they go, then justice is what justice is. We'll get that justice of procrastination in our individual lives and as a collective. Bringing in the full spectrum here of sunlight, the many the wide variety of spectrum of colors that the sun gives off, I feel even more colors than we are programmed right now to be able to see. You know, taking in the full aspect of the systems. And yes, this is reflective of the systems being built up, but is more reflective of the way the balance of the world is. And the balance of the world is created by what each and one of us stands for and puts up with and does in our individual lives. When there is enough collective numbers of any, you know, one stream or two streams or three or four streams of energy collectively moving in a familiar, similar direction, then, you know, a different balance is attained. But we need to be able to see it. We need to be able to accept what is, and in order to be able to see how it needs to be changed or it needs to be recalibrated, rebalanced. And so this happens from the within to the without. So it takes us to take responsibility over our own lives, over the decisions made and not made that put our plans in the upside down. And the repercussions of them, we have to be honest and be able to deal with the repercussions of them. You know, businesses should not have closed down. Yes, it was a fearful time, but tyranny is going to prevail where, you know, where tyrants are allowed to stomp their feet. There were many people ripping up fines in front of the videos. There were many people taking them to court. 1 second, baby. And so, you know, there were many people standing up, including myself. I've never shut down, not once. And anybody who wants a one-on-one, they've had a one-on-one, you know, if they live closely enough. So, you know, that's, it is what it is. We've got to now make justice for ourselves. Look at Italy and look at, I'm going to be doing a video on it. Look at the calls that they have put out there to charge. So it's even more charges of the gates of hell with you know, the wanting and willing to kill people with the jabs in the arm. Where's the justice? The justice, there needs to be consent to that. We need to be making noise about that, and we need to be backing them, because this whole plan is being puppeted by that puppet, by the beings behind that puppet. You know, we need to be able to see that the balance has been created within this world, that, you know, many of the people, so-called powers that be, and the puppets that do their will, many of them are, you know, psychopaths. They're sociopaths. They're murderous. And so we need to be able to see this and accept this and do something about it. Make some noise about it. However your voice is normally heard, make sure that, you know, and make no attachments to the fear of what others might do with that. We just need to put it out there, but not putting it out into the void, but put it out there for those that are ready to be able to hear it and listen and see. And also, regardless of anybody else, let them see it on their own platforms that they own. Fair enough, things might happen, you know. I haven't been able to get on Facebook, and it is what it is. I haven't been comfortable going on there anyway for a long time. I think it's up today, I need to check. But so yeah, it's we need to start taking action and seeing the full spectrum of the game and actually making some moves. And so I'm going to go because this little boy is in wanting of something or some things. I appreciate you all.
But I know it's a stream, so I know a lot of people are going to find it, because a lot of people find live stream.
Yes, Mummy needs to do more live streams. Yeah. So keep it up, keep it moving, take your action plans, and make your decisions, and be aware of the game. I appreciate you all, love you all, and have the best intent for you all today to reach your highest potentials in any direction that you choose to go in. Much love, stay balanced and stay whole. Mwah.